Okay, here is the first part of the introduction PowerPoint lecture for Intro to Sociology for Scott High School. Again, you have the shell for this, so you could print it off or leave it on your computer, take notes, fill in stuff as you need to. Again, this will continue to go along with Chapter 1 and probably parts of Chapter 2 as well in your book. So these are going to be good notes to have. So we ended up, the last thing that you watched, the last lecture, we were talking about reality TV and the sociological imagination. I want to expand on C. Wright Mills' ideas a little more and talk about the difference between troubles and issues. Now, troubles occur within the character of the individual. So troubles are more psychological and areas where we will not focus as much in sociology. They occur within the character of the person, the individual, and within the range of his or her immediate relations with others. They have to do with the individual in those limited areas of social life which he or she is personally aware. On the other hand, issues are more sociological, and this is where we'll spend most of our time. Issues transcend local environments of the individual. They rise above the person in his or her inner life, and they deal with things that are larger in scale. And I'll make some more, I'll differentiate troubles and issues some more here. Let's do it this way first. For example, in a city of 10,000 people, if only one person is unemployed, this represents a personal trouble. This is not a societal issue. So hypothetically, if in your county everybody has a job except, well, you, then is the problem with society? Or is the problem maybe with you? Maybe with you. Okay. Now, let's flip that around. However, which is probably more accurate here, if you have in a city of 10,000 people, half of them unemployed, like for example, right now in Detroit, Michigan, with the auto industry just sort of going into the tank in recent years, their unemployment rate was something like 35%, which is really, really, really high. So in that situation, is that more of an individual problem? Are we going to look at, for example, on this slide at the 5,000 people individually and say, it's your problem, it's your problem, it's your problem? Or is it more appropriate to look at the economic structure or the job structure of that society? Yeah, it's probably more appropriate to look at this as a social issue as opposed to 5,000 individual troubles. So we start to kind of see how that works. Here's another example of the difference between the two. In warfare, how to survive or die with honor represents a personal trouble and not a larger social issue. However, how warfare impacts a society's social, economic, and political institutions represents larger societal issues. So warfare, how would that impact or affect our economy in this country? If we went to war, would that affect gas prices for all of us? Probably, for example. Another example here, within a single marriage, the problems that a husband and wife experience, fighting, economic issues, infidelity, those represent troubles and not larger social issues. However, if we look at the divorce rate, for example, in a given community, and we see that the divorce rate in, I'm just going to make something up, in Boone County, West Virginia is 75%. That's a lot. Could we make an argument that this represents an issue, a larger social problem or community problem? Probably so. Probably so. So, where does sociology fit into the overall scheme of things? Well, we'll start talking about that at this point. Sociology is not a natural science. Natural sciences try to predict and explain things that happen in the natural world. You've probably taken biology classes, chemistry, physics, geology. These are endeavors that try to predict and understand what happened in the natural world. Conversely, sociology is a social science. Social sciences endeavor to understand, predict, and explain things that happen in the social world or social environment. History, psychology, politics, anthropology, which is the study of culture, economics. These are social sciences, and sociology fits in with social science, and we'll talk more about that. Sociologist James Henslin points out that sociology is both similar to and different from the other social sciences. Social sciences, again, try to predict things that happen or phenomena that happen in the social environment. So social sciences are examining human relationships, not natural relationships that exist in the natural world. Some examples of social sciences include history. Why would we study the history of anything? Well, some ideas. We learn from others, learn from the mistakes of history. We also understand that history is not